It's no accident that sounds like you're leveling up in a video game. 48% of 18 to 29-year-olds have an online dating profile.
Make them work for it.
45% of people say they're more frustrated with this form of dating than hopeful.
There are so many people you can connect with.
Should I swipe right?
Swipe wrong. Swipe wrong. Setting the record straight on dating apps. Everyday people telling everyday stories of the swipe right world with your host, Koss.
Well, I know he had a good time.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. Welcome to the Swipe Wrong podcast. How you guys doing today? I'm doing awesome. I'm amazing. Life is good. I am that guy. I am your yeah, you guys know me. I am that guy. I am your host. I am Koss. Welcome to the show. It is the number one podcast amongst people who know that diamonds are not a girl's best friend. The flower is a girl's best friend. So good stuff going this week. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the show. This one is more back to our roots. I feel like a great story on this one, and it's actually somebody who was on. I want to say I don't know. It's quite a few episodes ago now. She's come back in because she had a date that she wanted to share, and I was just like, "Oh damn, let's do it!" Like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, let them know what's going on. Say, hey, there's this show out there. It's doing two things. One, it is saving marriages. If people are in a marriage and they're not happy, tell them to listen to the show. They will find a way to work it out. Promise you that. And it's also helping people, hopefully getting better dates out there. I can't tell you how many conversations I keep having about people who are from people who just think that dating is the worst and the apps are the worst. They're not the worst. It's not the most horrible thing on the planet. Solving world hunger is not what we're doing, but trying to give you a better perspective on just experiences over expectations and other things like that. That's the goal. That's it. You will have better dates. I promise. Just stick with us. Email us if you want to share your story at swipewrongpod@gmail.com. Give us a call at 317-426-6616. The man, the myth, the legend, the great and powerful Oz, Jay Pelham. He is the producer of the show that does an amazing job. And the show would be not nearly as good, not just audio-wise, video-wise, but content-wise without that dude. So like I said, this week, somebody who's been on before had an amazing story. Just one that you're going to hear me going, huh? What the, are you, what? But you're going to get a good kick out of this. This is definitely back to, the beginning of the show, without any expert commentary or anything. Just enjoy the story. So with that, sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab your popcorn, get it buttered, throw some caramel on there if you want to, maybe some sea salt. If you're in traffic, take it easy. I just got pulled over the other day and I got let go, and I was very lucky because I was going a little bit too fast, but I did not hit that person next to me. So please do not hit that person next to you. And enjoy this episode that we are calling Reverse Catfishing.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions or any entities they represent. This podcast is about dating experiences. It is not to say one dating app is better or worse than another.
Evidently, we didn't get to half of the shit we were supposed to get to when we talked last time. So
no, that's not true. This is a recent thing.
I know. But like after the show, you're like, oh, I meant to tell you about this and I meant to tell you about that. And I was like going, what happened? Like, what happened? I don't know. I know I usually cut it a little short. It's usually about half hour, 45 minutes, just so, people, that's the average time of a commute. It's about a half hour and 45 to 45 minutes. So that's about where we keep it at. So tell me about the guy. It is a guy, right? It is a guy, right? Okay,
I'm not into women. Yes.
Okay. All right. Look, there. This is about dating. It doesn't matter if it's the same sex.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you've gone out on 2 dates with this guy. Now, where'd you meet him? Did you meet him in the wild? Did he slide into your DMs? Did he throw something in your shopping cart at the store? What happened?
So you know a little bit of this backstory because we're friends outside the podcast now, and you're actually the only person I told I was going on this date when I asked if you thought he might kill me after a text I got.
Right. It was negotiable. It sounded like,
and you said he sounds exactly like the one that would kill someone. And I still went on the date.
I mean, you just asked for an opinion. You didn't ask if you should go or not. You're like, what's the opinion? All right, I'm going anyway. It doesn't matter. Do I have the right read on this guy? Okay, I do. I'm going to go. We'll see what happens. I'm raising my life insurance.
So I met him on an app. And now this is my first time going on a date post starting a podcast.
Oh, how was that? Well, first of all, I'm sorry. What app? We got to know what app.
Hinge. And I think I understand why maybe some podcast hosts don't go on dates.
So tell me why that is.
Like, so I had the mindset, Manders Mindset, had the mindset. If I tell this man I'm a podcast host, not even trying to get like numbers, don't want him to listen, I'm not telling him the name, he won't air his dirty laundry to me too much. Because that is something I've always dealt with. These men just tell me so much, even on date one. And I'm like, buddy, like, I'm all for support and I'll be there for you. Like, it's fine. But it's like, bro, we've been here for like 10 minutes and I know that you haven't seen your mom in 5 years. Like, oh, interesting. So, okay, we're talking, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to go outdoors. We're going to go for like a nature walk. Okay. Well, this is also post me going to Bali. So I have it in my head. I can do anything. I can handle anything. Nothing fucking matters. Nothing matters. I got lost in another country. I made it back. I can survive anything. Right. Like this is my mindset, which is, I don't know, is a good mindset. It can be good and it can also not be so good. So he wants to go for this nature walk. Fine. Well, now I mentioned in previous episodes, none of these guys on the first dates are all giving me lectures about smoking weed. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we talked about that.
Life comes full fucking circle. Well, I find the man that will smoke with me on the first date. Okay, great. So I'm both vibing. Great. You know what? Don't really have guys pick me up, but you know what? Fine. We're gonna smoke. We're gonna go to some nature place. Fine. You can pick me up. It's no big thing. I think I'm going to be a little safe because I'm like, maybe since I'm telling literally no one that I'm going out with this random ass fucking man. Except me. I got to know. Yes, but you didn't know his name. You didn't know where I was going. You didn't know any details.
No. I didn't.
Happens, I'm fucked.
Let's unfold it real quick. Do you think this guy's going to kill me? Yeah, he seems like one of those guys. Okay, good. We're going to go on a walk in the woods. That's like exactly what you do in a horror movie. You might as well hide behind the chainsaws. Just so we're clear on how that rolled out. Okay, please continue. Yeah, nature walk with the killer. That's good. Listen,
we were gonna smoke a joint. It was gonna be no big thing, no pressure. Like it's gonna be relaxed, a chill type thing. I'm thinking I haven't had a chill type first date. I'm all for it. Fine. He wants to pick me up. He's very adamant about wanting to pick me up. And I'm just like, why does this dude really want to fucking pick me up? And he even sent me a text. And this is what I sent you. And he's like, I work from home and I sang in choir and I went to the veterans home where my mom worked. So I can assure you, I'm not that guy that will kill you. So if you're comfortable with it, I could pick you up around 2. And I'm like, I wasn't thinking you were going to kill me.
Exactly. It was on nobody's mind until he brought it up. Thanks, pal. And he was in choir. Thanks. Yeah.
And I'm like, is choir like a fucking recent thing? We're like 28 years old. Like what are you telling me this for? And I'm just like, that's great and all, but like, what does that have to do? Like, I could meet you somewhere. Then he sends me this like woodsy area. He's like, let's go here. well, it's a far ass drive for me. It's like 55 minutes. And I'm like, dude, this is far. And he's like, oh shit. And he's like, I could buy you a taser. And I'm like, what are you buying me a taser for? He's like, if that would make you more comfortable if I pick you up. I'm like, oh my God. Then I say to myself, you know, I got in different cars in Bali and I didn't know who the fuck these people were. If I could do that in another country, I realistically can get in this guy's car.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I can do that.
Right, you could, but they're not setting you up with, hey, I could buy you a taser. Like, that's like, I don't know anybody who's going to the woods, their first thought is, I know what I'll need is a taser. I might need, I don't know, a pocket knife. I might need a bunch of water. The taser's for the guy on the other side of the car who's buying it for you, by the way.
He just wanted me to feel comfortable.
I wouldn't trust that it would work. That's all. I mean, here's your taser. It comes in a box of Crayolas. Is what it would seem like.
He was a very nice guy. I'm sure.
So was Dahmer.
Listen, he was nice. He was a gentleman. Like,
okay.
I really do think he had like anxiety over giving a woman fear about, like, because men. Honestly,
right,
I really
right,
think he had that mindset.
So,
and, like,
all joking aside, like, he sounds like a nice guy, and I want to hear the rest of the debate for sure. And if he is a nice guy, I really hope you have the conversation with him was, hey, don't offer a taser to anybody on the first date, and don't take them into the middle of the woods after you talk about being in choir. Just tips.
We had a lot of conversations.
Okay. I hope you touched on those because pro tip, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm not talking to you. I'm listening. Here we go.
So, okay, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to let this guy pick me up. And then I say to myself, okay, I just won't give him my home address. There's a Dunkin' Donuts super close to me. I'll tell him the Dunkin' Donuts. I'll go to it's no big thing. Okay. So he's on his way to me. He's pretty far away, whatever. He's stopping for joints. He's stopping for gas. Then he sends me this long ass voice message. And he's so upset because he thinks he hurts the woman's feelings at the gas station and all this. And I'm like, oh my God, because they didn't understand what he wanted. And oh my gosh. So now I'm standing outside Dunkin' Donuts and I'm sending like this long ass voice message, basically talking this man I've never met off a ledge because he is so upset that he hurt this random gas attendant's feelings. And I'm like, I'm just pacing around this Dunkin' Donuts trying to not look like I'm loitering because I'm like, I'm standing here and I don't want him to see me walk out of my building. So okay. And he's like, you're so understanding. Sends me this sweet long ass message. Okay, great. And so I tell him, like, I'm outside. Here's the address. I'm outside the Dunkin' Donuts. Now, okay, he eventually pulls in. He waves. I get in the car, and he goes, I feel like the socially acceptable thing is for me to give you a hug. Gives me a hug, no big thing. Sure. It wasn't weird. It wasn't like a creepy type thing. Then next thing you know, I don't know if it was the joint. I don't know what he dropped, but he starts dropping a lot of things. And I'm like, oh, I'll grab that. And he's like, I didn't expect this. And I was like, you didn't expect what? And he's like, catfish is a thing, you know? And I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, you don't look anything like your pictures. He goes, yeah. And I was like, excuse me? And he's like, you are too pretty to be on a date with me right now. And he was like, don't say anything to that. I didn't just say that. And he just couldn't, he was fumbling everything. And I was like, do you want to park the car? Because you are going to crash. We are like not moving, but I think you're going to hit something. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that. So mind you, we're in a parking lot, but he doesn't pull into a space. He just parks. So we're sitting here. You've got the car here, but you've got parking on the side, and you got parking on the side over here. And I'm like, you're not in a spot. And he's like, I know. He goes, I just didn't expect you to be this pretty. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm kind of cute. And he's like, no, you're not kind of cute. Your pictures are kind of cute. And I'm like, I mean, I've had people tell me I don't really look like my pictures, but like, and he's like, I don't know if it's you or your friends, but nobody takes good photos of you. And I was like,
It's their fault.
Like, do you want to take one of me? Like deja vu? Maybe that's why that fucking guy took one of me. Like, I literally said, I was like, do you want to take one of me? And he's like, I feel like that's overstepping. And I'm like, not everybody does, but
No, yeah, exactly, right.
Not everybody does.
Yeah,
but that's fine. So he gets his shit together. Mind you, it took us, I don't know how long, but I felt like I was sitting in this spot for a long time. He gets his shit together. I'm like, okay, you got a place in mind. We look up on all trails. We're going to this area. Cool. Now, we get to this area, and there's a lot of houses, and it's kind of like a hometown neighborish area. And he is freaked out. This is not the nature type walk he was thinking of. Why are there houses here? I'm like, this is a good area. Like, you've got some random middle-aged woman walking a dog that waved to you. Like, what are you? He's like, nah, like, we shouldn't be here, blah, blah, blah. And he's all weirded out. Okay, so he's like, I don't think we should stay. So what do you want to do? Like, what's the option? And so he's like, I'm all for just driving around if you're up for it. Okay. So we start driving and we're talking, whatever. Now, I'm trying to figure out how he just starts saying this, because he just let it go. And now I told him before we met that I hosted a podcast, because I purposely was thinking he's not going to tell me too much stuff. Like, he's going to be chill. Like, because maybe I'll share this. Like, not that like, he'll be chill.
Yeah.
So he starts telling me about his job and about this coworker of his, and she doesn't believe things he says, and all this different stuff about a surgery his mom has. And I swear to you, I don't think he fucking took a breath for like 5 minutes. And then he says to me, I'm sorry, I just trauma jumped all over you. And I was like, it's fine. I mean, you do what you got to do. And then he goes, it's partially your fault. And I was like, it's my fault you trauma jumped? And I was like, I mean, I've been known to be a pretty understanding person, so I guess it is my fault. I'm sorry.
I guess it is. Oh my goodness. And then, you're too kind.
And then he goes, you've just been listening to me. He goes, you didn't even shut me up. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I was like, if you got something to say, you got something to say. Like,
right.
It is what it is. Now, we're still driving. We're just driving around in the car. And then he starts talking about how he should have planned better and he feels bad. This isn't what I had in mind. We had a nature walk in mind, all this different stuff. And I'm just like, buddy, listen, I'm sitting here smoking a joint. I'm fine. You know how many fucking first dates I would have wanted to just go on and just smoke a joint and chill? I'm fine. You're driving me around. We're looking at these water. It's fine. I don't care. You're trauma dumping. It's fine. I hear it on podcasts all the time. Yeah, I'm used to it. Right. I literally said, people tell me those stories on podcasts all the time. So you know what? I'm even more used to it. Just keep going.
Right.
That didn't help because he did.
He kept going. Yeah. You're like, shit, I might as well record and turn this into a podcast. Let me get my voice notes on my phone going, hit record, and I'll just upload it when we're done.
Then we're probably about 15 minutes into driving. And then he says to me, can I tell you what I really want to do? And I'm like, that's never a good sign. It's never a good sign. And I'm like,
murder or sex? I mean, with this guy, it could be either one, but he's probably going to sing to you.
And I was like, after everything you've already told me, now you're going to ask me if you can ask me something? You can tell me something?
Such a fair question. I love that. That's good.
I was like, I don't mean this rudely, but we've been in the car for 20 minutes and I know about your mom's surgery. I know a lot about you. I said, let me guess, you got one brother. And he goes, how the hell do you know? I said, he's older than you too. And he goes, he is. And I said, okay. So what do you want to ask me? What do you want to tell me? And he's like, you know what I want to do? And I was like, what? He's like, I'd rather just go back to my house. And he's like, are you against that? And I was like, your house is so far away. Like, he was like an hour away from me. Jesus. I'm like, dude, by the time we fucking get there, by the time we get back, And now he had some new arcade gaming thing that he had recently set up in his house that he is such a huge fan of. And now it took him about 5 minutes to tell me that that's what he really wanted to show me. And I'm like, he's like, so, you know, if you're not against me just driving there, I'm just going to drive to my house.
Oh my goodness.
Well, now you have me who doesn't say much. And I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to say to that. He goes, well, if you're not kicking and screaming, we're going to my house. I'm like, if I'm not kicking and screaming, I said, buddy, I'm known to be pretty loud, so I could start to scream. And he's like, well, you're not right now, so I'm just going to go there. If you're not against it, and then he pulls it up, he's like, it's only 58 minutes. Only 58 minutes.
That's exactly what you said it was. Pretty much. I think you said 55. I mean, come on.
And I'm just like, okay. So we start driving, whatever. Now, I don't think it's a big deal that I don't know where he lives or like the house that we're going to. Maybe I should have asked. Right. Maybe I should have asked. Come to find out, I guess I should have asked. But okay.
Come to find out. Okay. What happened?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay. All right. Just basic, like protective, like of the guy who wants to take you to the forest and seems like somewhat of a killer. You kind of want to know what house you're going to. Is that basic thing that you're saying?
Just wait for it, because even
okay.
Even
oh, there's okay.
Day,
all right.
Even still to this day, I think to myself, did I actually experience that? Okay, cool. So we go to his house. Now he owns his own house. He recently bought a house. He's super excited about that. He bought the house in like June. You know what? I get it. It's a new thing. Good for you. You want okay. Now I shit you not. He shows me the living room, and there is a fucking sign that says no smoking.
What?
And I am thinking to myself, is this like, am I like being tested? Like for all the fucking past is like coming to me, these past post fucking dates. And I'm like, this is a fucking test. Is this guy trying to fucking test me? I'm going to smoke in this living room and then he's going to kill me. This is like, my head is thinking, oh my God. Oh my God. Now I've got my bong with me. We had smoked prior. Now we inside, we're sitting on the couch. We're just talking. He puts on a movie. Wasn't weird, anything. He's like, you can smoke your bong if you want to. And I was like, do you want to hit? And he's like, the bong's going to kill me. So then internally I'm thinking, you're not going to hit this. I'm looking at a sign that says no smoking and you want me to hit the bong? Buddy, I have been lectured on first dates when I wasn't smoking about smoking. You think I'm just going to rip this?
Right.
So I literally said to him, I said, I got a question for you. You want to ask questions? I got a question. What the fuck's up with the no smoking sign? And he goes, it's a joke. Get it? I ain't laughing. I said, I'm not laughing. I said, I don't know if this is like my paranoia from the past, but I ain't laughing. And he goes, why? I said, you know how many first dates I have gone on where the guys are like giving me shit about smoking weed? And he's like, you're going on the wrong first dates. I said, oh, now I got the guy who's got the no smoking sign telling me he's not going to kill me. Is this the right first date?
Right. Buying you a taser.
Is this the right first date?
Yeah.
He goes, listen, you should be more relaxed. I said, I don't know if I'm more relaxed, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the thing. I don't know. So, okay, we start smoking. It's fine. I'm like, you got to smoke the bong. You're going to have me sit here and smoke the bong. You got to try the bong. He's like, I'm going to be dead. I don't know if I'll be able to drive you back. I was like, fuck it. We'll figure it out. Okay, he tries the bong. Now he starts talking more. He's more philosophical. Wonderful. Then he says to me, and this I said to myself, are you fucking kidding me? Are you literally fucking kidding me? So he knows I'm a podcast host, but he doesn't know what it's about. He doesn't know the name. Now he says to me, I just got to say, you might want to switch your mindset. And I said, what the fuck did you just say to me? What the fuck did you just say to me? And I swore right fucking like that. I said, first of all, I am the mindset goddess. Who the fuck do you think you're talking about? Second of all, it's shift your mindset, not switch. Thank you very much. And why the fuck do you think I need to switch my mindset? Let's go there. Let's have a conversation. And I was fucking ready to fight this man. I was like, bro, I came to your fucking house. Now you're going to tell me I need to switch my mindset. And I was like, I would love to hear this. Enlighten me. Enlighten me. And he goes, let me ask you a question. And I said, okay. And he goes, where are you right now? And I was like, what does that even mean? You know where I am. Like, I'm at your house. And he's like, what's the address? And I was like, I don't know. And he goes, what city are you in? I knew the city and the state. And he's like, you're not in Bali anymore, you know. And I was like, okay. First of all, mentally, I am in Bali.
Yeah,
Second of
sure.
all, what does that mean? And
Yeah.
he's like, if anything were to happen, you don't know where you are. You don't have a car. How are you getting anywhere? I said, I have my phone. He goes, what if we would have a fire? What if a fire were to start? You're calling 911? How the hell are you going to get here?
Wow.
I'm like, buddy, you need to stop worrying about everything. You need to
Wow.
stop worrying about everything. Very anxious mentality. I'm like, I would figure it out. I said, listen. Then I told him the story of how I got lost in Bali. And I figured that out. I had police help me. I got back. I said, worst case scenario, shit happens. I will walk home. Okay, maybe it'll take me 6 hours, but I'll get there.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I have my phone. Like, I'm not, you know? And I'm like, buddy. And then I'm like, okay, just so you know, my podcast has to do with mindset. So I know a lot about mindset. Then he says to me, you called yourself the mindset goddess. And I was like, I don't know where that came from. Then he's like, that's kind of hot, you know.
That's kind of
I'm like,
fun. You combine two things, you know, breathing goddess and your mindset, right?
I was just pissed. And
Right.
I was ready to, this random man who doesn't know me is going to tell me to switch my mindset.
Right. And he says, it's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So out of all of this, it comes back to it's hot. And does he try anything?
We smoked a lot more. We talked about different shit he had gone through. We made out a little bit. He offered to sign a contract because he wanted to make out in the bed, but he wasn't going to try anything.
That contract would have been void. That contract would have been no. Like if he would have tried something, what did you stand to gain from your side of the contract of him not doing anything?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, if he's signing the contract saying I'm not going, like, let's go make out in the bed, but I won't do anything. If he goes too far in the contract, it seems like you should get some sort of monetary gain because he broke the contract, right?
Yeah, that didn't happen.
We
made out in the bed, and then he thought he was going to touch my leg, and I was like, "What about the contract?" He's like, "I didn't sign it." I said, "I did."
Yeah. Look, I am 2 years into the show. I am well over 100 episodes now. I have never heard anybody say catfishing is a thing because your pictures were not as hot as you are.
It's the opposite.
Reverse catfishing. Yeah, I've never heard anybody bring that up on this show yet. That is the first time I've heard it. And then he freaked out about it. Like, instead of going, wow, that's a nice surprise. Like, you look better in person. Could have been complimentary and just being.
No, he was complimentary, but it gave him more anxiety.
But he had anxiety, right? Like, he probably was complimentary, but he also made you probably a little bit more uncomfortable because of his anxiety.
That's just the breathing came in. That's honestly
right,
because because dead ass. I saw him a second time and I don't know why, but yeah.
So you went out a second time. How did that go?
Oh my God. You can't even say out fully because I do some shit that I don't know. But anyways, the first date was fine. It was whatever. He eventually brought me home. And I reassured him. I was like, listen, I know you emphasized like 1,000 times that you were not going to kill me. And I said, but here's the thing. I never got that vibe. I never got the vibe. I never had weird feelings towards you. I was like, you were one of the most normal people I have spoken to on this app. So like, you need to realize that like you're not one of those creepy guys on these apps. I don't know what people have said to you, but just so you know, apparently he had been called creepy. So he's even more so trying to make sure women on dates don't feel like he is that. And I'm like, listen, I didn't get that vibe. So don't stress over that. Okay.
Right.
I calmed his nervous system so fucking much. Okay. Well, and he's like, I've never felt this relaxed and this anxious free. Wonderful. Of course you haven't. Well, he wants to see me again, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't want to wait. Okay. Well, I still go to the gym early in the morning. And now, yeah, life goes full circle. And so he's like, I don't want to wait to see you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I'm going to the gym early in the morning. I don't know if you want to meet up afterwards. He's like, you should just come and see me after the gym. And I was like, are you going to be awake? And he's like, I'll leave the door unlocked. I'm like, okay. And he's like, just come surprise me. Well, my dumbass, of course, like, sure, why not?
Yeah, sure.
Why I get in my car and drive fucking an hour at 6 o'clock in the morning after the gym to see this man that I didn't have that great of a date with. It wasn't bad, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I do. So I'm thinking to myself, do I just fucking walk in this man's house? Like but I did. The door was unlocked and I just walked my fucking ass in. It was. What are you thinking? Go for it. I'll let you say
No. Like, look, actually, I would do it. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'd drive the hour after that date, but someone said the door's unlocked. I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, you've already been there. You know it's him. So I don't see a big deal with that part. Not at all. The drive for an hour? No, that walking into dude's house, like if you'd never been there before, I'd feel like I was being pranked, but you'd been there before. You probably saw the no smoking sign and knew you're in the right place.
I did.
Right. So you're like, all right, cool. All right. I mean, you knew where the bedroom was, so you knew where you're going. You knew what was going on.
Yep. And what would transpire next, I would have never anticipated, to be honest with you.
I think sex, but evidently that's not happening. Like maybe Fruity Pebbles or something. No. Uh-oh.
No. And so I get there, he's sleeping, no big thing. So then I use the bathroom. I'm like, do I wake this man up? Do I like get in the bed? Do I cuddle with him? Like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I am literally thinking to myself, what the fuck do I do? So I go in the bedroom and I like touch his shoulder and he's like, come here. So, okay, I lay in the bed with him, whatever. We're cuddling, we're whatever. We make out a little bit. Then he's processing some shit. He's got more shit he's talking to me about. His parents. And they're older and different things they're going through. He's lived with them for a long time. He's telling me where they lived, all this, whatever. Okay. Next thing you know, I don't remember what he was going into the basement for, but he's got to go into the basement. Okay. And now he was gone for a long time. And I said to myself, something's not right. Something's not right. And now some people would not check, but I'm like, I got to go see what his deal is. So I'm not the type that I'm gonna like yell down to you to see, like, I'm gonna go down this mysterious basement and yes, it is one of those basements that even when he showed me this arcade like the day before, sketchy as fuck. You'd see it and it's like the stairs make a creaky noise as you walk down them. It's like one of those that you're like, I even remember saying to him, I was like, can you turn on the lights? They're on. Oh, got it. Cool. I just can't see. Cool. So I'm like, I got to go down this fucking basement and see what this man is doing, like what his deal is. So now I walk down the basement and I can't find him. I don't see him. I'm walking a little bit. Next thing you know, I see like there's a washer and dryer in the basement. And now he is on the side of that and he is sitting there and he's got his hands over his head and he is just bawling. He is just bawling his eyes out. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. What do we got to do? Okay. So then now my breathwork mentality is like, okay, I've got to help this man. Right. This is what I'm here for. I've got to help this man. Not that I really want to, but we're going to help this man. Right. So I went over there. I put my arms like around him and I was like, what's going on? And he's like, how'd you know? And I was like, well, you were gone for a while. And I was like, and I can tell. I don't know, but I can just tell. Like, I told him fucking 20 minutes in that he had an older brother. I don't know how I know, but I just know these things.
All right.
And so then he says to me, it's my mom. He had gotten a message. She fell, blah, blah, blah. He had to go see, he needs to go see her, but he was so worried about telling me because he had me drive all this way. And now that's the worst thing to do, to leave and all this, whatever. And I'm like, buddy, your mother fell. She had a stroke not that long ago. Like, I should be the least of your worries. Listen to me.
Right.
You don't need, listen to me. You do not need to worry about me right now. You need to worry about you. And I was like, let's go upstairs. I took his hand and I was like, come with me. We went upstairs. We went into the living room. And I was like, you need to like relax. I said, before you think you're going to get in the car, because like his parents lived like 40 minutes away. I said, you're not getting in the car right now and driving. And I said, yes. And my mindset is going to stop you if I fucking have to, because maybe you need to switch yours. We're going to sit here for a minute. And he laughed at it because I'm like, you gotta like lighten the load a little bit. I was like, we're gonna sit here. I was like, are you comfortable with me enough to close your eyes? He's like, I am. He's like, let's take some deep breaths and like lighten the load. Like, mind you, he'd been bawling his eyes out because he's afraid to tell me that his mom fell and his dad called him freaking out, needs him to go there. Like,
right.
Buddy, I'm not what you need to be worrying about right now.
Right.
Listen to me. Like, we did a bunch of deep breathing. I did a little breath work with him, and he was like, how are you like this? And I was like, maybe I don't need to switch my mindset. Maybe I don't. and he was like, I think you don't like that I said that. And I was like, I don't love that you said that, because the word mindset is it's like my word, like, if you compliment my mindset, I'll love you for life. If you insult it, I'll never forget that you did. Just one of those things.
Right.
But he was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how you were able to help me with this. I'm like, listen, it's fine. Like, I'm not your worry right here. You've got to worry about your mom. Like, he had to take care of the dog. He's got an older dog. I'm like, listen, you've got enough going on right now. We're good.
That's
like,
cool.
Don't worry about it. I was like, the biggest thing I want you to remember, I didn't feel uncomfortable or unsafe with you at one point. I said, how many men over the years I would never tell, even near where I lived, but I told you the Dunkin' Donuts. That was literally, you can see from my building. You probably saw where my car is. You know the type of car I have. Right. I never felt like any bad vibes. I said, so I know, and I can tell you've got the mindset of you want these women to not feel even a slightly bit unsafe, but relax a little bit, because I didn't. I felt more uncomfortable by your no smoking sign than I did by you.
And buying a taser.
and I was like, also, don't tell women you're not going to kill them, because that gives them that idea. If they say it, you can reiterate. You won't do it.
I mean, it's assumed. Like, it's automatically assumed that they're not going to kill you. Now, if it's wrong later, then so be it. But that's a safe assumption usually, God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and I'll bring you a taser. Like, I can't, like, that's, oh man. Oh, so what ended up happening? He ended up like, he calmed it down, and he ended up, you guys kind of went your separate ways. He went to mom's house, and you drove the 55 minutes back home.
He texted me freaking out because he was all worried and he still felt really bad. And I sent him a message and I said, I am not what you need to worry about. You need to take care of you first, because your parents need you to be well so that you can help them. And I said, and that's what you need to do. I said, there's nothing to worry about. I've got no bad blood, no bad feelings towards you. We're all good.
Right.
Honestly,
that's
I
awesome.
said, I didn't feel any bad blood towards you in any aspect. I said, so don't stress this. And I said, and I hope you remember. And I said, and keep this text message, because we were texting. I said, I didn't have one little inch of fear going out with you. I said, this is the first date I have gone on with a guy that I didn't meet previously, that I didn't tell somebody. So if that doesn't tell you, regardless of what I say, that I had a level of safety with you, nothing will.
Yeah.
And he was like, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we're good.
No, that's cool. That's cool. So where are you guys at? Like, you going out again? Like, you kind of...
I haven't spoken to him since that day with the mom.
When was that?
about a month ago now.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that at all. There's no way I would have guessed that. I figured like he would, I don't want to say be blowing you up, but definitely be reaching out and just like he felt like there's no way he didn't, like he had to have felt a connection.
I definitely think he did, but he just had a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I even told him that, and like he knew that too. Like he recently moved out of the parents. He's still taking care of his parents. They're a lot older.
Sure.
He's got a brother, but his brother's autistic. So like there's different factors with it all. And it's like, I didn't have any hard feelings towards it. And I think I helped him look at all of it differently. So
I mean, well, in the moment for sure, and hopefully overall, but like you may have given him like not just insights into how he should approach the people he's talking to, but insights on how he should approach his every day. I mean, that guy's got some stuff to work on. Thank God he ran into you, honestly. Like, like for real, like it's someone who wouldn't just be like, dude, you are a little out there. I need to go like and talk to him and kind of talk him through some of this stuff, because I can see quite a few other ones just saying, peace out, bro. You take care of yourself.
I just felt I was called to be there to help him with that for a reason. Because the whole drive in me going there, I said to myself, why am I driving to this man's apartment at 6:12? Why am I in the car going to this man's apartment that I met once, and we didn't have a bad date, but it wasn't that I was like, oh, I loved this. Let's go hang out at 7 a.m. What?
Right.
Like,
right.
But something in me was like, you gotta go. And I was like, I gotta go. Yeah. And I just think I was meant to help him through that, I guess. I don't know.
No, like there's something totally to that. Like the date wasn't great, but you went, and that dude needed you there at that minute, because I bet he didn't have anybody else who would have looked at him and helped him through it the way that you did. That's for sure. He needed
don't think?
You. No, I don't think so. Like, not just.
See, he was surprised at that too, and I was like, "Why are you surprised that I'm like willing?"
I'm not surprised. Yeah. Like, I'm not surprised that you helped him.
No, he was.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Like I think that's why. Like he's got no one else in his life that does that for him. So I think if you weren't there, he'd have been screwed. He's not used to that type. Like he's not used to. Wait a second. People look out for each other. I mean, that seems like that's foreign to him.
Yeah.
He's looking out for people by buying them tasers. You're looking out for them by their mental well-being. It's a big difference.
He did have the mental well-being in mind. He didn't want me to feel uncomfortable, you know?
Sure.
So
it was sweet.
I can respect his reasoning. The way he went about it was odd, but it also comes back to things that are said to us. He had people say to him, and women say to him, that he was creepy. He was going the extra mile to try not to be, or to try not to portray that.
Makes sense. So he's going the extra mile not to portray it, but in turn making it worse. Like, oh my God, I can't be creepy. Okay, so other people, and he's like manifestation, right? He's almost professing it, putting it out in the ether, like, hey, I'm not creepy, but you're putting it out there that like it's almost like a way that you are, bro. So be careful. You got to be careful. Yeah, he needed you. What a fucking couple of dates, girl. Jesus Christ.
And they were back to back. It was back to back.
So it was like the night, and he drove 4 hours. Let's keep this in mind. He drove 4 hours that night. He drove an hour to get you, an hour to show you his house, an hour back to take you home, and an hour for him to get home. He drove 4 hours. Jesus.
And he drove around a lot while we were figuring out what we were going to do when he didn't like the first place. I was like, we can go somewhere else. And that didn't happen.
No, I mean,
and then he felt so bad that I didn't get to go on the nature walk.
Yeah. And
that was going to happen that morning. That was going to happen the next morning. And then he went through some shit.
So it was that day you met at like 2, and then he got you home that night. And then the next day you went to go work out and then went up to his house.
Yep.
That's a hell of a 24-hour span of you hanging out with this dude. Oh my God. Jesus.
I know. That's why I say I'm like, did this really fucking happen to me?
Oh my God. Like that, and this was like a month ago. Like this must have been right after shortly after we recorded last time, huh?
It was shortly after I got back from Bali.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
Because
God.
I was like, I'm gonna download Hinge again.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh.
The only date I went on.
That was a story. That was a good one. I haven't heard one like that in a minute. That was a good one. I mean, I'm sorry you went through it, but I mean, I'm glad you shared it.
It wasn't bad. Honestly, I have the mindset that I was meant to help him through it.
Yeah.
And honestly,
yeah.
I think he's gonna look at dating, and I think he's gonna look at life differently. Whether he tells me he does or not, I think he's gonna.
No, you were supposed to be there in that minute. So yeah, that's the truth. That's how that worked out. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So many other people would have bailed on him. So many other people. And like there was only 35 red flags that came up, in that 24-hour period. So he was averaging a red flag every 45 minutes, it sounded like. So but they led to a guy who needed you to be there for him. Other people would have been like, deuces, take care of yourself, buddy. Oh,
so you've
God.
never heard the reverse catfish either? I
Not
thought
on
that
the
was
show.
just me.
Yeah, not on the show.
You've heard of it in general?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard a couple people say like, hey, but they say it's so different. I mean, they really say, wow, they look better in person than they did in their pictures. And, kind of seemed like not the same person, but nobody really goes to the reverse catfish line. And then I started looking it up, and that's when I discovered, because, for the show, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's sort of a thing, but it's not. It shouldn't be called reverse catfish. It should be called.
He showed me my picture.
Right. It should be called a nice surprise.
He pulled
That's
up
what it
the
should be
app,
called.
and he goes, "Look at this," and I'm like, "I know what my pictures look like." He showed me. I'm like, "I know what pictures I have on there."
I set up my own profile.
There's only 6. Like, it's not like it's even social media, and I could forget. Did I post it? You only got 6 photos on Hinge, buddy. I'm like, I know. I know that's my photo.
Can't believe you tripped out so bad like that. It's called a nice surprise. That's what it is. Wow, you look so much better in person. And then so I mean, even that, I don't know if that's a compliment or not a compliment, because you don't take pictures well, but you look great in person. I don't know. But like the fact that he made a big deal out of it's the weird thing.
Because it caught him so off guard. He thought he was going to be more on his shit. And he even said that. He's like, I can't even hold the joint. And I'm like, do you want me to? Wow. Like, I can stick it in your mouth. Like,
wow.
And he's like, and the fact that this understanding makes this even harder. And I'm like,
wow.
Maybe I shouldn't have offered to stick a joint in your mouth. That's probably weird. We've been in here in the car for 10 minutes. I literally did say that. You want me to stick the joint in your mouth so you don't have to hold it? Because he said he couldn't hold it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
He needs some work. Like he really, like he is not somebody to date. He is somebody who needs breath work. He is somebody that needs, like he really needs, like, hey, we're all people just trying to figure things out together. Not, oh my gosh, she's too hot, I can't even hold a joint.
I know.
Right?
I was even like, I'm a pretty chill, like understanding person. I might be kind of cute, but like, I'm chill.
Yeah, but that's an interesting thing though too. Like that's somebody who believes that there's leagues. Like you're out of his league, or he like. I don't believe in that at all. I mean, maybe there's tax brackets. I don't know, but I definitely don't believe in leagues, because nobody knows everybody. We all don't know each other's story. Everybody's battling something. Everybody's working through something. So, like it's like just be good to each other. You'll end up being all right. But this guy's got some stuff to work on. Wow, girl. Wow. Jeez.
I know how to pick them. But I got my first date where I got to smoke weed. Was it worth it? I don't know.
Here's your victories. Got to go smoke weed on your first day. You didn't get chastised for it. You helped somebody out. Yeah. That's yeah. If that comes with this, you needed to be there for that guy.
I know.
But
no, I know.
Holy, like honestly, like could you date him?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Could you friends with benefits him? Could he be anything more than just a check in on him periodically?
I mean, I could see us as friends, like
Yeah.
if he was someone that didn't get too attached. Because like we didn't really have much of a relationship. We made out twice.
Right.
Um, he's got a lot of shit to work through. But
Sure
I was
does.
the one who helped him realize that, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but he told me that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
I'm really surprised you haven't heard from him in like a month. That shocks me. Even though he's busy or not, I'm surprised he's just didn't lean on you a little bit more. That does kind of surprise me. But maybe you gave him everything he needed for the moment.
I think I might have because
Yeah.
even my last text to him, I specifically sent him a separate message and I was like, I want you to save this message, screenshot it, add it to your favorites. And that was the one where I was like, listen, I didn't get 1 ounce of feeling. Even when
That's
you
good.
started telling me you weren't gonna kill me. And I said, I even had, and I referenced you. I didn't tell him who you were, but I was like, I even had one of my guy friends tell me this might be the type of guy to kill you. And I still went on the date. If that doesn't tell you, I did not have any anxiety with you. Like, I hope that relieves some of your anxiety, your stress. And he was like, honestly, it really does. He's like, you didn't tell
That's good.
anybody? And I was like, no.
That's
Literally
good.
no. I didn't share my location. I had one guy friend tell me you might kill me, and I still let you pick me up. and he was like, I mean, that makes me feel good, but I'm a little worried for you. And I said, well, here we are. Here we
That's
are.
a good response. I'll give him that.
Here we are.
Yeah, the guy that might kill you. What are we gonna do? We're gonna go for a walk in the woods. Oh, okay. Well, that's a different way to go.
I love the outdoors. So if you
Sure.
nature, water, anything, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If you tell me, like, I'm all for it. And then after going to Bali, I think I can do anything. I used to want to do this on first dates, but I had that fear. But now I'm like, fuck it. I can.
Yeah.
I'll kill you in the woods.
Yeah. Bali's a different world. I mean, like it really is dirt roads. It's a lot of paved, but there's just there's like you could barely fit 2 cars down some of the roads.
I
like,
know.
right?
Have you been?
Years and years and years ago, back when it was probably a hell of a lot more urban than it even is now.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I had family that lived in Bali actually.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was a good excuse to go visit. Like I had a cousin who lived out there when I was younger, and so we go out there. It's beautiful. I mean, it's an awesome place, and it's also primitive. Like it's primitive as can be. Like there's you can forage for your own damn food.
Yeah.
But like it's really some of the roads, right? Like, and I assume they're the same way. You can maybe fit 1 car. There's a lot of really small cars. Like if you think people drive bad where we are,
oh my God,
shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't rent a Gojek or anything out there because I couldn't have like a scooter or anything.
Right.
Oh my God. I would have killed myself with someone else. I wouldn't have made it back. I genuinely believed that.
Yeah. Someone wouldn't have given a shit and just run you over or something. Like they just don't care. Like you're better off like just walking along the side of the road as far as possible. Like that's what I know about it. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. Oh, so we didn't even say it. We'll say it again. So the mind shift.
The mindset.
The shift. No, it's the shift, right? No, I'm kidding.
Switch.
I am messing with you, okay?
Yeah.
Manders Mindset. Yeah. So how's the show going?
Not switch. It's good. It's going good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't tell this man about it because I feel like he'd be even more fucking up my ass.
Oh, I'm sure. Like don't be shocked if he isn't one of your perpetual listeners.
Oh shit, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, like he's like if you brought it up, he's probably like
I didn't tell him the name.
He did you were you wearing the shirt?
No, God no.
Okay. Oh God, no, God no. God no. Oh God no. No, Jesus. I know I just rode with him in an hour for a car, but he's not going to know the name of my podcast. Yeah, she's like, oh, damn you and your logic.
I didn't even think about that.
She's more protective of her podcast than she is of her. Yeah, I got you. That's okay. But hey, that's it though. That's like we do this because this is who we are. Like, like this is your show is built into you. Like that's who you are.
Yeah. No, it is.
You still loving it?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Yeah. How often you dropping shows?
At least once a week, sometimes
go.
twice.
There you go. There you go.
Mhm.
We had a good time. I had a good time on the show.
I'm
We had fun.
glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
We always
Thank
have
you
like
for
this.
having me back on here. I appreciate it.
Are you kidding me? You're one of my favorite people to talk to. I'll do it anytime.
Oh, I
I mean,
appreciate that.
You know, even if you know, don't tell me that you can't show up for a time or something like that and leave me
I'm
hanging.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm playing. It's all good. I'm playing
No, I
this.
know.
It's God, are you kidding me? I ain't that guy, I promise. But yeah, we'll
But
totally do
can
it
you
again.
believe this fucking date?
No, no.
2 dates?
No, okay, like seriously. All right, so let's kind of backtrack to it. Like he parks in a parking lot, not in a parking spot, and just sits there because he's so flustered. That just made me kind of laugh a little bit. The reverse catfishing is in there too. I want to drive an hour so you can see my video game setup or whatever it was.
It's like this arcade old game school thing he like bought and he recombobbled.
Sure. I mean, like, sure, I understand trying to get you back to the house and hook up. I get that. Like,
I don't think it was. Think it was that.
You're right. That sounds like it wasn't that. And then like my thought is if I'm leaving the door unlocked for somebody the next morning to come up at, whatever, 6:15 and she shows up, my thought is we're going to have some fun sex. Not, and granted, he got a call, but it really didn't sound like it was on his mind anyway.
I don't think it was.
And it doesn't sound like it was yours either, but.
It wasn't, but he mentioned the contract because I was like, why are we going to make out in the bed? You want to make out in the bed because you want to fuck me. That's why you want to make out in the bed. Right. And I've also got the mindset now, I don't give a fuck. I said it right like that. He's like, I'll sign a contract that we won't fuck. That's not why I want to make out in the bed. The couch isn't comfortable. I'm comfortable on the couch. Who are you speaking for? This couch is comfortable as fuck. Like, I don't know about you. And it was funny because after the fact, when we were back the next morning, he's like, I should have sat where you were sitting. This is a comfy. No shit, it's a comfy spot. Well, I think I didn't want to go to the bed. I was chilling.
Like, bro, it's your couch. How do you not know like that? Like, it's yours. It's in your house. You sat on it one time and it's more comfortable than he does? Oh, he needs a hug. He needs like a few hugs.
I gave him a lot of them.
He needed them, girl. Like, he 100% totally needed them. Like, this dude, he might need to move back in with his parents. Like, he sounds like he's a little lost without him. That's tough. Jeez. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Manders Mindset on all the platforms. Breathing Goddess. You want to talk Breathing Goddess? You want to pitch that too?
You can find me on social media at the Breathing Goddess.
People do find you, and they do. They're out there. You do a lot of good work with that. That's for sure.
And even when I'm not planning on doing the work, I'm doing the work.
You're always doing the work. And if you want to see some killer workouts, you might as well just be your friend on Facebook. Girls always slinging it.
I try. And then I might come visit somebody after the workout.
You might, and then have to save their life emotionally, pretty much. Jeez. Are you in the gym 7 days a week? I forget what you said before. How many days a week are you in every day?
Usually 5.
Usually 5? Yeah. A couple recovery days. That's cool. How much water do you drink a day?
At least a gallon.
At least a gallon? Yeah, I would. I would have to get a catheter. I'd be in the bathroom way too much. And definitely 100 ounces, roughly, somewhere in that area.
Okay.
Somewhere. So in that, but try to, not as cool as you though.
So what do you think about this guy literally saying to me that I needed to switch my mindset? I gotta ask, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, one, he's wrong. Just that's my thought. You don't need to switch, shift, change, upload, download, anything having to do with your mindset. I think look, all right, so from his perspective, certain things, did you take some risks? You sure did. You took some risks. You did. Yeah. You jumped in the car, let him take you back to your house. Not many people are going to know where they're at, which is fine. Your phone's going to track it for you. I mean, as long as he's not doing anything stupid. So,
but then he was giving me all the scenarios that could have happened. The fire, He talked about a burglary. What if some guy came in and robbed us and shot him? Then what am I going to do?
Sure. That happens every day, right? Like I remember just yesterday that I had to avoid a fire. And then 3 days ago, I was like lucky enough that I kind of got burglarized, but didn't. So I thank goodness, that's an everyday occurrence, these things happening. He's saying is like, if he wants to not be creepy, he needs to not bring up shit like that.
I know. I know.
But yeah, I mean, your mindset's amazing. You took some risks on this date and it worked out, and it should work out. You trusted him, really, you don't want anything bad to happen. And if it does, you kind of know, all right, I need to get the hell out of here. Like, there was one girl that had a guy that pulled a knife on her and she was on the show. And again, one time in 100 episodes have I heard somebody really be in extreme danger. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It's not like a fire or burglary that happens every day, evidently. But yeah, sure, be a little bit more careful.
He was also in a pretty good area. And I even said that. I'm like, dude, we passed this looks like a pretty nice section. There was a school nearby. He's like, oh, it's a good area. Then why do you think you're going to get robbed?
He doesn't even know how good his couch is. I mean, how does he know? He doesn't know how good his shit is. So he's not gonna get robbed. He thinks his stuff is not that good anyway. Oh my goodness. I think you're good. I think you just whatever. You just be a little bit more careful here and there, but just know that if it happens again, you're probably gonna need to do some breath work with somebody.
But now I'm prepared. Now I'm prepared to do the breath work on the date.
Yeah. You might as well just have a contract ready before you go up in case you start making out with somebody like that again. Like in case oh, here's the contract. I already have it written up, drawn up. Please sign.
Now is the contract that we're not having sex in the bed, or is the contract that I'm going to give you breath work when you can't handle your life?
The no sex in the bed. I mean, the breath work is that's a given. I mean, you can always tear up the contract. You have that autonomy. Let me ask you this: do you think you'll hear from him again?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the one who helped him realize he wasn't ready for a relationship and needed to figure more of his life out. So,
yeah.
Which is interesting, having somebody tell you that after knowing them for not long. And I'm just like, oh. He literally told me, you helped me realize I have a lot to work on. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or if you're saying that kind of fuck you, Manda. I don't know how you take that, but
right.
And I was like, I wasn't trying to be insultive. I don't know if you took it that way, and he's like, I didn't. It's just the reality of my life. And I'm like, okay.
Girl, I really think you helped this dude out. I mean, I think that's a compliment. I think you did a lot for this guy. I think you hear back from him. I'm going to say within 30 days you hear from him.
Okay. You think?
All right. And if you don't hear from him within 30 days, you win the contract.
I mean, I already told him I signed it, even though when I don't think he was even going to do anything, but he touched my thigh and I was like, what about the contract? And he's like, I didn't sign it. And I said, but I did. And then he stopped. So.
Sure. I mean, which, you know what? That's
respectable too. So
that's what she'd do, right? All right. She's not into this right now. She doesn't want me to do that. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing. That's exactly how, doesn't have to even be a contract talk. It's like, hey, I tried this. She wasn't into it. That's not that kind of party.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. All right, I'm gonna stop recording and let you, and then we'll talk off of the recording. Thank you for being along for the ride on the Swipe Wrong podcast. The show is produced by Jay Pelham. You want to reach out to us? We want to hear your story. 317-426-6616. Make sure to text, leave a voicemail. We'll get back to you. Shoot us an email at swipewrongpod@gmail.com. We are on Facebook, Insta, Twitter, YouTube. We are definitely out there. I am the host of the show. My name is Koss. And please make sure to take a listen to us next week because the saga, it continues.